Released in 1977 as the title track of Meat Loaf's debut album, Bat Outta Hell is a bombastic, nearly 10-minute rock epic that encapsulates the wild spirit of the 1970s. Written by musical genius Jim Steinman and performed with unrestrained passion by Meat Loaf, who was born Marvin Lee Aday, the song blends operatic grandeur with teenage rebellion, motorcycle bravado, and a touch, a lot more than just a touch, of gothic tragedy. For kids who grew up in the 1970s, it was the kind of song that blasted from their 8-track players and spun on their turntables. And it continues to evoke memories of a decade defined by fun and freedom. Join me as we explore the song's history, from its theatrical roots to its unlikely commercial triumph. And let's analyze its lyrics, which reveal a narrative that's as thrilling as it is heartbreaking. We'll begin by exploring its historical context and creation. The story of Bat Outta Hell begins not in a recording studio, but on the stage. Jim Steinman, a composer with a penchant for the dramatic, crafted the song as part of Neverland, a rock-infused reimagining of Peter Pan that he started developing in the late 1960s. Steinman's vision was ambitious, a rock and roll sci-fi version of Peter Pan, where youthful rebellion and eternal adolescence collided with cataclysmic stakes. By 1975, while touring with the National Lampoon Show alongside Meat Loaf, Steinman identified 3 standout songs from Neverland: Bat Outta Hell, Heaven Can Wait, and All Revved Up with No Place to Go, as the foundation for a potential album. He saw in Meat Loaf a larger-than-life Texan with a powerhouse voice, the perfect vessel for his theatrical compositions. The duo faced an uphill battle to bring their vision to life. You see, record labels balked at the project's eccentricity. It was 7 sprawling tracks that defied the concise, disco-dominated trends in the mid-1970s. But then came producer Todd Rundgren, who was initially skeptical but ultimately became a believer. He took a gamble on the album and funded much of it himself. Rundgren's production wizardry, including the iconic motorcycle guitar solo in Bat Outta Hell, added a layer of sonic spectacle. Recorded in 1976 and released on October 21st, 1977 through Cleveland International Records, Bat Outta Hell was a slow burn. Rejected by major labels, it gained traction through relentless touring and word of mouth, eventually exploding into a global phenomenon, selling over 43 million copies. And that was back in the days when you actually had to go into a record store to buy records, and becoming one of the best-selling debut albums ever. In fact, it became one of the best-selling albums ever. For 70s kids, the song's release coincided with a cultural moment when rock was still untamed, before punk's raw edge or new wave's polish took hold. It was the era of FM radio, where DJs might spin a 9-minute track without hesitation, and of teenage dreams fueled by beautiful cars and vinyl records. Bat Outta Hell didn't just arrive, it roared in like a silver-black phantom bike, leaving an indelible mark on music history. Now let's talk about the song's journey and legacy. Bat Outta Hell wasn't an instant hit in the United States, but its album version became a radio staple thanks to its sheer audacity. In the UK, an edited version reached number 15 in 1979, and a 1993 re-release hit number 8, buoyed by Meat Loaf's and Jim Steinman's resurgence with Bat Outta Hell 2. The song's live performances, often stretching past 12 minutes with female backing vocals, cemented its status as a concert closer, a ritual for fans who'd scream along to its climactic highs. Steinman's theatrical roots bore fruit decades later when Bat Outta Hell, the musical, debuted in 2017, fulfilling his Peter Pan vision. The song's legacy also includes its influence on artists like Bonnie Tyler, for whom Steinman later produced Faster Than the Speed of Night. For 70s kids, it's a time capsule, the sound of roller rinks, late-night drives, and the raw emotion of youth, preserved in a track that refuses to fade. Now let's dive into a lyrical analysis. Bat Outta Hell is a lyrical roller coaster, blending vivid imagery, emotional intensity, and a narrative arc that's equal parts exhilarating and tragic. Let's break it down section by section, exploring its meaning and resonance. The song opens with nearly 2 minutes of instrumental buildup, piano and guitar weaving a tense, cinematic atmosphere. Then, Meat Loaf's voice erupts.
The sirens are screaming and the fires are howling way down in the valley tonight. There's a man in the shadows with a gun in his eye and a blade shining oh so bright. There's evil in the air and there's thunder in the sky and a killer's on the bloodshot streets.
This sets a dark, chaotic scene evoking a 70s urban dystopia. Think The Warriors or a gritty cop show. The valley could be literal or metaphorical, a stand-in for a dead-end town or a state of mind.
On down in the tunnel with a deadly horizon, oh, I swear I saw a young boy down in the gutter. He was starting to foam in the heat.
The arm figure and the young boy down in the gutter, starting to foam in the heat, paint a picture of danger and desperation, hinting at a world spiraling out of control. For 70s kids, this might recall the era's unrest, Vietnam's aftermath, economic struggles, or just the wild energy of adolescence. Amid the chaos, a tender shift emerges when Meat Loaf sings,
Oh, baby, you're the only thing in this whole world that's pure and good and right. And wherever you are and wherever you go, there's always gonna be some light.
Here, the protagonist addresses a lover, casting her as his salvation. It's a classic rock trope, love as redemption, but delivered with operatic sincerity. Then the urgency ramps up when Meat Loaf sings,
But I gotta get out, I gotta break it out now before the final crack of dawn. So we gotta make the most of our one night together. When it's over, you know we'll both be so alone.
This suggests a ticking clock, a last chance to escape. For a 70s teen, it's the fantasy of breaking free, maybe from a small town, strict parents, or societal expectations, fueled by the decade's restless spirit. The chorus is, of course, the song's heartbeat. Meat Loaf sings,
Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes. But when the night is over, like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone, gone, gone. Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes.
The phrase "bat outta hell," meaning to move at breakneck speed, becomes a mantra of liberation. It's visceral, almost absurdly intense, and perfectly 1970s. Think of Evel Knievel's daredevil stunts, or the roar of a muscle car, like a Trans Am. Yet, there's a twist when Meat Loaf sings,
But when the day is done and the sun goes down and the moonlight shining through, like a sinner before the gates of heaven, I'll come crawling on back to you.
the bravado softens into longing, revealing a conflicted hero torn between freedom and love. The narrative then accelerates, and Meat Loaf sings,
I'm gonna hit the highway like a battering ram on a silver black phantom bike. Oh, when the metal is hot and the engine is hungry, I'm all about to see the light.
This is peak 1970s iconography. A lone biker, a phantom ride, and the open road. The silver black bike is a fantasy machine, straight out of a kid's doodles or a Chopper magazine. And then you've got the line,
Nothing ever grows in this rotten old hole, and everything is stunted and lost. And nothing really rocks, and nothing really rolls, and nothing's ever worth the cost.
which reflects disdain for the protagonist's origins, a sentiment many 70s teens might have felt in suburban or industrial towns. The repeated
I know that I'm damned if I never get out, and maybe I'm damned if I do. But with every other beat I got left in my heart, you know I'd rather be damned with you. Well, if I gotta be damned, you know I wanna be damned, dancing through the night with you. Well, if I gotta be damned, you know I wanna be damned. Gotta be damned, you know I wanna be damned. Gotta be damned, you know I wanna be damned. Dancing through the night, dancing through the night, dancing through the night with you.
fuses rebellion with romance, a dance of defiance. The tempo then surges as the protagonist pushes his limits. When Meat Loaf sings,
I can see myself tearing up the road faster than any other boy has ever gone. Oh, and my skin is raw, but my soul is right, and no one's gonna stop me now. I'm gonna make my escape. But I can't stop thinking of you, and I never see the sunlight come till it's way too late.
this is the thrill of youth, speed, risk, invincibility. But then, Meat Loaf sings, I never see the sudden curve till it's way too late. And you've got drums crashing and guitars mimic a revving engine, and the story veers into tragedy. Steinman, inspired by 60s crash ballads like Leader of the Pack, wanted the most extreme crash songs ever, and he succeeds. The aftermath is visceral when we hear Meat Loaf sing, Then I'm dying at the bottom of a pit in the blazing sun, torn and twisted at the foot of a burning bike. And I think somebody somewhere must be tolling a bell, and the last thing I see is my heart still beating, breaking out of my body and flying away like a bat out of hell. This is operatic carnage, graphic, surreal, and strangely beautiful. The tolling bell signals death, while the heart's flight is a gothic twist, tying back to the Peter Pan motif of eternal youth. The repetition of like a bat out of hell as Meat Loaf hits a soaring high C is a cathartic release, a final burst of energy before the fade out. Lyrically, Bat Outta Hell is a teenage tragedy dressed in rock opera garb. Steinman drew from Hitchcock's Psycho, The Valley View, and classic crash songs.
Look out, look out, look out, look out!
But its core is a universal coming-of-age tale, the urge to flee, the pull of love, and the price of recklessness. For 70s kids, it's a sonic snapshot of their world. Motorcycles symbolizing freedom, love as a lifeline, and music as an escape. The song's excess mirrors the decade's ethos, from disco's glitter to rock's bombast. In conclusion, Bat Outta Hell is more than a song. It's a cultural artifact, born from Steinman's theatrical dreams and Meat Loaf's raw energy. Its journey from rejection to triumph mirrors its protagonist's doomed ride, while its lyrics weave a tapestry of rebellion, romance, and ruin. Bat Outta Hell is a perfect fit for those who remember the 1970s untamed spirit, proving that some songs like Bat Outta Hell never stop flying and never leave us for as long as we live. So, what do you think of the song Bat Outta Hell? Did you grow up listening to it? And if you did, was it in the glory days of the 1970s or early 1980s? Or any time since then? Kindly let me know your thoughts about Meat Loaf, Jim Steinman, and the song Bat Outta Hell, and even the album, in the comments below.